Hope this day is finding you all well. I am actually live on location in the lovely Pasadena, California, getting ready to put on an event for physicians who are looking to be unleashed, who are looking to do a different style of practice. We're so excited to be doing that. So I'm not in my normal studio, I'm actually live on location, but I want to talk to you today about this idea that the solution to your health issue may be simpler than you think. And what's really funny about that idea is that sometimes things are simple, but not necessarily easy. So I want to talk about just that idea for a second. Some of the most common things that people are dealing with as it relates to their health are these complex chronic diseases, whether it's diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney disease, just obesity in general, gut issues. A lot of these things, it takes your body really a long time to develop a disease, if you will. So, let's take Alzheimer's, for example. I just went to a conference actually last weekend where an expert on Alzheimer's, Dr. Bredesen, spoke about the end of Alzheimer's. That's the name of his book. And that sounds like something that is impossible, unheard of. Why would he say such a thing? But here's the deal, the way that our bodies work, it takes a while for your body to really break down and become inefficient because your body is always working for you, trying to do the best that it absolutely can in order to heal. And so this is something that I found completely profound about Alzheimer's. From the time that you get symptoms of Alzheimer's, it takes about 10 years before you get to that point of full out dementia Alzheimer's. So it starts with being a little brain foggy, a little forgetful, and you could have 10 years of that progressively getting worse, worse, worse year by year until it's bad enough for you to require medication. And unfortunately, in the traditional medicine world, the solution is, well, you're not sick enough. So let's go ahead and just keep waiting and we'll wait until it gets worse. And that's the absolute worst thing that you can do. So Alzheimer's is a complex disease, but it can have a very simple solution. And we can think about it the same way with a lot of other things that we're dealing with. Diabetes is a complex disease in some ways. It's not just about blood sugar, it's about blood vessel damage and all the other things that can happen. Hey, Melody, thanks for joining us. Dr. T, thanks for joining us here. So, your body takes a while to develop illness. It may take a while to develop wellness again, but understand that your body really is divinely designed and it has a great capacity to heal itself. So the solution to what you're trying to get to maybe actually simpler than what you think. So I went to this conference. We talked about Alzheimer's, about autism, about the things that affect children, the pediatric world. We talked about insomnia, obesity, all of these different things. But you know what was really amazing to me? The amazing thing is that the solution was quite simple. And the solution actually can be applied to almost every chronic disease. And so, in our modern world, the problem that we have when we're facing a chronic disease, we're usually trying to figure out one small step in the process and how can we fix that and will that fix the entire disease. So with diabetes, we think lower blood sugar, that's going to take care of everything, where there's more to it than that. Same thing with Alzheimer's, with autism, all of these things, but the solutions are so simple, not always easy, but they're simple. And the solution is something that you've probably heard me talk about before. But one of the biggest solutions that we talked about was actually your diet, what you eat, what you put in your body. You've probably heard that statement that, your fork is your most powerful weapon. It's either something that you're going to use to bring about wellness, or it's something that you can use to bring about disease. And so what you put in your body is so important. Lowering the intake of inflammatory foods, that is a huge process and a huge healer, whatever your medical condition is, whether it's gut, whether it's brain, whether it's hormones. Hey, Levi, thanks for joining us. Those are the things that can alter your body in a very positive way. Another very critical component of your health that can have a positive impact on probably most every disease is getting in enough sleep. And I know you guys hear us talk about this all the time, but it's so important. Your body is doing so much repair and regeneration while you're sleeping. And so if you're not getting in that enough sleep, you're not repairing your body as you should. And that is going to really work toward sometimes making certain situations worse versus making it better. So you've got to get in enough sleep. That's right, Sylvia. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Hey, Melody, thanks for joining us. Levi, hello. And Sylvia said, sleep, sleep, sleep. That's absolutely right. That's what we've got to do in order to really heal our bodies. And I think we don't really understand how important sleep is. Another thing that is important is reducing stress and really having some strategies in place to reduce stress. Again, chronic stress can have a broad, sweeping impact on almost every aspect of your body, whether it's elevating your blood pressure, elevating your heart rate. Those who are more stressed have more difficulty losing weight and have a tendency to pack on pounds. All of these things can impact your body in a major way. And again, it's a simple solution, but sometimes it's not necessarily easy. How many of you guys are you, do you feel like you're, for the most part, taking in low inflammatory foods? That's like taking out grains and dairy. That's what I mean primarily. Hands up, give me a thumbs up. Are you doing that? Or are you not doing that? Give yourself a heart if you need to start doing that. Give yourself a little grace there if you haven't done it yet. But understand that those are simple solutions that can have a broad reaching effect. Sylvia said, not me. That's okay. There's always time to start. Hey, Angela Ellis, she gives me a thumbs up. That's excellent. So, another thing that we talked about was the importance of fasting, intermittent fasting. And for some people, that sounds kind of like a scary thing to do. But what I learned in this conference is that the number of meals that people are eating every day has dramatically increased over the years, especially from like say the 70s to the current time. How many meals, snacks a day do you think guys people are eating on average? Give me a number. Do you think it's 3, 5, 7, 10? How many meals do you think people are eating on a daily basis? Give me a number. What do you think? Actually, I was surprised to hear this. The expert that spoke to us said that some individuals, a large percentage, are getting in 10 different meals and snacks a day. And I laughed at that because I thought, I kind of blame this a little bit on Taco Bell. Taco Bell has that commercial where they call it the fourth meal. So they've sort of implanted this idea that, you should be eating four actual meals, and then we think about snacks. And so the reality is, Sylvia said four. How? Because people are constantly snacking, eating all day. And it's really part of the food industry. They have led us to believe that we need to eat so many meals a day. And I will also say that even in the industry of health and wellness, of nutrition, things like that, more information is now being understood about the importance of intermittent fasting and that it's not necessary to eat so many times a day. And so, intermittent fasting, you can do it in different ways. But again, regardless of the chronic disease that we talk about, again, whether it's Alzheimer's, diabetes, all of these chronic issues, what we found, hormonal issues, if you're having trouble losing that belly fat around the middle, intermittent fasting can be amazing for that. If you're having brain fog, low energy, what does that mean? And for some people, that's sort of a scary thought as far as they're scared about getting hungry or going hungry. But think about this: back in the world that was not so modern as ours is now, people did not have the capacity or the ability to cook 3 meals a day. If they had to hunt for food, they're probably going to eat one time a day. Before the modern industrial nation and that kind of economy where we can ship things back and forth, people did not have access to food like that. And guess what? Chronic diseases weren't as bad back then either. So I'm going to give you one tip today, one simple solution, something that you can do that can have a broad, sweeping effect, probably on most every chronic disease that you may be dealing with or you may be concerned about getting in the future. One thing you can do is shorten your eating window. It can be so very powerful. Shorten the eating window. That might just be skipping breakfast and not snacking actually between meals because you want to control your insulin level. Insulin is a hormone. Insulin's job is to take sugar out of the bloodstream and store it away. But in some instances, when your body is taking in too much food, that insulin's not working. And insulin is a fat storing hormone. So you want to keep insulin down. And by shortening your eating window, you can keep insulin down. Now, for those of you who do have like diabetes, things like that, talk to your healthcare provider, make sure that's right for you. But just about anything you can think of that can have a major impact. And when I watched that lecturer, that expert on Alzheimer's, he talked about intermittent fasting. When I listened to the other lectures about other chronic diseases, they talked about shortening that eating window can have a broad, sweeping effect. How many of you guys have tried intermittent fasting? Let me know if you've tried intermittent fasting. Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you've tried it. What did you think of it? How did it go? Because for a lot of us, when it comes to fasting, the reality is that we're more so it's uncomfortable sometimes to be a little bit hungry, so you got to have some tricks. So like right now I'm still in my fasting window, and I'm having some warm, unsweetened tea that my dear friend made for me. And so that helps to curb that craving. Sylvia said it was different. Yes, it's different when you're not used to it. But when you look at the benefit, you'll be amazed. I have a friend, shout out to Lisa if she's watching. She told me that she started doing a fast with a friend for a spiritual reason. She didn't change her diet at all. And she lost like 10 pounds. I think it was in a couple of weeks. She'll have to shout out and tell us, to my folks who are in the Natural Hormone Fix community and those on Dr. Witt's Wellness. But you can see some amazing changes. It's a simple solution, and you don't even necessarily have to change your diet a lot. Now, I'm going to encourage you to change your diet, but you don't necessarily have to do it. Melody said, I have, it works well, and she does it now. Absolutely. This is something that you need to have as part of your arsenal to get yourself healthier, is start shortening that eating window. That is the most powerful, one of the most powerful things that I can advise you to do as it relates to so many chronic health issues. Obviously, moving your body is a good thing too. It's good for your brain, it's good for your heart, it's good for your bone strength. Those are just simple things. So again, there are these big chronic diseases that we spend billions upon billions of dollars to treat every year, but yet the solutions are so very simple. So today, again, I'm so happy to come to you with this wow session of Word on Wellness. I want you to try that one thing. I've given you two or three things. Get your sleep in 7 to 8 hours. Try some shortened eating window. If you don't like the term fasting, shorten your eating window. I want you to try that. And I also want you to move your body. These simple things can manifest itself as healing in your body. This thing does not have to be as complicated as we make it to be. And so I want to encourage you today that the simple solutions can have a huge impact on your health. Share that and encourage someone else with this message. Get out there and move, get your sleep, and skip a meal. Believe it or not, skip a meal. I know that's a little bit opposite of what we're used to hearing from when we grew up, but that's what the research is telling us now. So again, I'm Dr. Malika Woods. Thanks for joining me for your Word on Wellness Wow session, and I'll see you next week, same time. You all have a wonderful day.